Thank you. And so tell us about your experience with the professors, the board members. This is a very hardcore academic only program, correct, Jackie, or incorrect?
Yeah, I'd say it's hardcore, but you're going to get as much out of it as you put into it, right? So like I think it's subjective, but for me, like I think it was exactly what I needed to kind of help me improve like my understanding of what the supply chain world has to offer. Before I started the program, I operated in a silo, right, which is strictly operational. But what I got from this program is to learn from, in my opinion, the best of the best and professors who've had a long career in this industry already. And that's stuff that you wouldn't normally get in your day to day, right? Unless you're maybe in a project and you work cross-functionally here and there, like maybe you don't get exposure to inventory management unless you were in that role or like worked on a project related to that. So like this program helps ensure that like you get exposure to just about anything related to the supply chain industry that you couldn't get in your day-to-day job. So I appreciated the perspectives my professors and my peers offered. Every conversation in class was super engaging, and very inviting to be a part of. Everybody there is again such like a thought leader in their own right, in their own field, and so, having that immediate access was so important to me.
And most of the professors, I think we have one or two on staff if you include Professor Goodchild, that's a PhD at full-time teaching. The rest are they're practitioners, right? And how do you think that impacts the class and the learning experience?
Yeah. Well, again, you get to bounce your ideas off of your peers. If you ever have a problem that you're experiencing either in a project or even a concept that you're experiencing in the work place. And so like, you know, Dan, you're a perfect example of this. When I was at Amazon, I was tasked to summarize very complex, financial quarterly summaries for FedEx. And, I hadn't really had a lot of exposure there. And I felt comfortable enough to go to you and say, hey, Dan, how should I think about this
Yeah.
problem? Right. So that application and the network and the relationships that you build in this program, like can really go a long way beyond the classroom. So it's really
Yeah.
what you make of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Thanks. Um, and so did it feel like it was kind of an engineering heavy or engineering and business nice combination?
Yeah, it was a combo because like not only are you learning like, the foundation of the engineering principles and whatnot, you got to learn how to apply it, right? And then also like how to like communicate that
Yeah.
in a workplace. I always found like what I learned to be highly translatable. Finding ways to boil down messaging across different audiences and whatnot was something that I felt like we got to practice very regularly in the program. So, and it was something that I struggled with before joining the program, actually. And so, this gave me the tools and the confidence to do that more professionally.
Nice. Nice.
Mhm.
And so what stood out to you about the curriculum? What do you think has been most helpful in your career so far?
Sorry, like, is there a specific field or
No, no, just I mean, did you also develop extra quant skills or, extra insight into like this part of the industry that you didn't know well, or where did you see that value add from the program?
Yeah, yeah. The value add for me, I would say, at least in my current role, is like, again, the systems integration course that we
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
It gave me sort of like an exposure of how to like communicate what I'm trying to build. For example, like I work with a lot of brokers who are trying to connect their systems, map certain information to like our product and tools today. But there isn't really a good way to like put that down on paper and talk to engineering teams about it. And so
Yeah.
like those type of classes gave me the tools like using swim lane diagrams,
Yeah.
very visual ways to represent and articulate very complex details into very not complex, right? Like models or concepts. So I thought that was really important in the program. And then, yeah, just like just about anything here, I would say is pretty applicable. So,